Coming up, History News This Week, Episode 18. Namaste friends, my name is Shilil Subramanian Paimal and you are listening to the Histology Podcast. Welcome to the 18th episode of History News This Week. Please note that History News This Week will be online every Sunday at 9:30 pm Indian Standard Time, that is 4 pm GMT. This week I have 10 interesting pieces of news items from the world of history and archaeology, followed by 2 great articles. Let's begin. First, metal detectorist in Norway discovers massive cache of jewelry. An amateur metal detectorist has unearthed what experts are calling Norway's largest gold treasure find this century. Erlend Bohr, a 51-year-old Norwegian man, discovered the bounty which contained 9 pendants with rare gold symbols, 3 gold rings and 10 gold pearls earlier this summer while exploring Rennesøy, a private island off the southwestern coast of the country. Second, small prey compelled prehistoric humans to produce appropriate hunting weapons and improve their cognitive abilities. At Tel Aviv University found that the extinction of large prey upon which human nutrition has been based compelled prehistoric humans to develop improved weapons for hunting small prey, thereby driving evolutionary adaptations. The study reviews the evolution of hunting weapons from wooden-tipped and stone-tipped spears all the way to the sophisticated bow and arrow of a later era, correlating it with changes in prey size and human culture and physiology. Third, ancient Greeks built a road and primitive railway to haul ships overland. Beginning as early as 600 BC, the ancient Greeks created the Diolkos, an ambitious road partially paved with stone that spanned across the entire isthmus of Corinth. The overland route allowed soldiers to avoid the perilous circumnavigation of Peloponnese Peninsula. One section of this road featured purposely grooved tracks considered among the earliest known railways in recorded history. Fourth, incredible rare coin worth 18 million pounds with 4 kgs of gold and more than 6,000 diamonds is unveiled in honor of the Queen. A jaw-dropping 18.47 million pounds coin worth peppered with 6,426 diamonds has been unveiled in honor of the late Queen Elizabeth II. Called the Crown, the East India Company, the sparkling wonder is stuffed with 4 kgs of gold and is size of a basketball. Despite the eye-popping fortune of its composition, the coin's face value is a measly 10,000 pounds. Fifth, 4 Roman swords, likely stolen as war booty 1900 years ago, discovered in Israeli cave. Archaeologists in Israel have discovered 4 well-preserved 1900-year-old Roman swords lodged in a crevice inside a cave in the Judean desert, weapons that rebel Jewish forces likely seized in battle and later hid. Sixth, centuries-old techniques reveal hidden 3D animals in Paleolithic cave art. Using an unconventional centuries-old method, researchers have identified hidden animal figures on the walls of a cave in Spain. The technique, called stereoscopic photography, dates back to the early 1800s but is perhaps best known for its use in Viewmaster, the pre-VR viewer beloved by generations of kids. 7th, 2,800-year-old figurines unearthed at Greek temple may be offerings to Poseidon. Archaeologists excavating a 2,800-year-old temple at a sanctuary in Greece have uncovered several artifacts, including figurines of a dog, a woman and a snake, according to Greek Ministry of Culture. Some of these figurines may have been used as voting offerings or gifts to the gods intended for Poseidon, a Greek god of the sea. 8. Isaac Newton apple tree saplings auctioned in UK first. 10 saplings from the apple tree that inspired Sir Isaac Newton are being auctioned to raise money for the future care of his birthplace. An apple falling at the scientist's childhood home in Woolsthorpe Manor, Lincolnshire in 1666 is believed to have inspired him to discover gravity. The National Trust, which runs the property, said it was the first time saplings were being auctioned. 9th, origins of enslaved Africans freed by British, then abandoned on remote Atlantic island revealed by DNA analysis. A first of its kind DNA analysis has revealed the likely origins of thousands of enslaved Africans who died on a remote Atlantic island after being liberated and offloaded by the British Navy. Roughly 27,000 Africans were taken from seized slave ships between 1840 and 1867 and deposited on the island of St. Helena as part of Britain's attempt to eliminate the transatlantic slave trade. Housed in ramshackle tents in the middle of an arid valley, up to 8,000 of the liberated people died of disease and malnutrition. 10th and final news. The Archaeological Department of the Indian state of Maharashtra has started the second phase of construction of a perimeter wall around the Korighat fort. The work is significant considering the increase in footfall of visitors to the fort about 80 kilometers from Pune. The ASI has already constructed a 1.5 kilometer perimeter wall and repaired the fort facing Lonavala town. The state government has sanctioned Rs 10 crores for the project, which will be completed in the next few months. Now coming to the 2 articles. First, Signs of the Zodiac, the Dendera dating controversy. How ancient was ancient Egypt? How old is the world? And what happens when archaeology contradicts the Bible? When the Dendera zodiac arrived in Paris, these questions exploded in the public sphere. Second, taking the knee origins in Mesopotamia. Research. Taking the knee has become a widespread global gesture against racism, but academics now say its origin dates back to the Mesopotamian era. Researchers have been studying the history of the gesture following protests for racial equality since the death of George Floyd in 2020. The University of Hull's Dr. Nick Evans said taking the knee thousands of years ago was a sign of deference. Latest book release of the week: Times Echo, The Second World War, The Holocaust, and the Music of Remembrance, written by Jeremy Eichler, is a pick of the week. It is a stirring account of how music bears witness to history and carries forward the memory of the wartime past. History Podcast Recommendation of the Week: You Must Remember This, hosted by Karina Longworth. If you love the glitz, glamour, and seedy underbelly of old Hollywood, then you will absolutely adore You Must Remember This. I will provide links to all the news items, articles, book, and podcasts mentioned above in the show notes. Please feel free to check them out. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the History News this week. Hope you found it interesting. Please don't forget to subscribe to the Histology podcast on your favorite podcasting app and check histology.com for book reviews and interesting tidbits from the pages of history. Looking forward to hearing from you. Have a great day and take care. Bye.